Nickel belongs to the family of metals known as the transitioning metals. This element is a member of the iron group. It is also important to know that nickel is one of the most recyclable metals in the world. Nickel is a transition metal that exhibits oxidation states of +1, +3, and +4. This element is a white, silvery-white metallic element with a chemical symbol Ni. Studies have shown that exposure to nickel compounds can increase the risk of certain cancers. Specifically, workers who are exposed to nickel at the sinter plant in Canada have been found to have an increased risk of pharyngeal cavity and buccal cavity cancers. A number of complex compounds are formed from nickel. These include coordination numbers 4, 5, and 6. Nickel is also an essential component of several enzymes. Although nickel is not directly toxic, it can damage plants and algae. For example, its presence can decrease growth rates. There has been a lengthy history of large price changes, despite the fact that its existence is very brief. In the late 1990s, the price of nickel skyrocketed, then fell back before regaining its previous momentum. The cost of nickel reached a point where it could be considered stable around the beginning of the 2000s. But in the past 2 years, it has experienced big price swings. The history of nickel is very interesting. The name nickel was first given to the metal by Swedish chemist Baron Axel Fredrik Cronstedt. He isolated the metal in 1751 and presented it to the Swedish Academy of Sciences. Approximately 5,500 years ago, several civilizations in the ancient world incorporated nickel into their structures. Today, the demand for nickel is growing at an average rate of 4% a year. This provision is mostly being driven by emerging nations that are now undergoing infrastructural expansions. Nickel is found naturally in the Earth's crust and in soil. The average nickel content in soil is around 20 parts per million. However, there is a range of 4 to 80 parts per million. This is due to a wide variety of factors, including soil chemistry, weathering of nickel-containing rocks, and atmospheric deposition. There are 2 ores that are used to extract nickel, laterites and magmatic sulfides. Pure native nickel is discovered in ultramafic rocks. It is also identified in meteorites. This element is commonly indicated in association with iron and sulfur in millerite. Other minerals associated with nickel include copper, pentlandite, and chalcopyrite. In the United States, there are a number of natural sources of particulate nickel. Some of these include dissolution of nickel-containing soil, atmospheric deposition, and wind-blown dust. Anthropogenic nickel sources include manufacturing and processing facilities, as well as industrial and urban refuse. The most important property of nickel is that it has high conductivity and it is an essential element in making a variety of materials. Nickel has the same properties as copper and iron, and this element is resistant to oxidation. It is ductile and malleable and is one of only the 4 magnetic elements at room temperature. This element is a ferromagnetic metal that is resistant to corrosion. The boiling point is 2,913 degrees Celsius, while the melting point is 1,453 degrees Celsius. Electrons are positively charged in nickel, meaning that nickel has a high electron affinity. The atom of nickel has a cubic crystal structure with 2 valence electrons. This element has an atomic density of 8.9 grams per cubic centimeter. When compared to other metals, nickel is a relatively cheap element. It dissolves in dilute acids. The chemical properties of nickel include its ability to absorb hydrogen. This property makes it an excellent conductor of heat and electricity, and in addition, nickel is resistant to high temperatures and oxidation. Nickel is a rare metal that has a wide range of applications. It is used in alloys that are used to make electrical components. In regard to it anyway, this element is a key component in the production of a variety of different kinds of plastics. Nickel is a metal that has been used by people all over the globe for hundreds of years. It was mined and used as a precious metal at the time, but in the modern world this element is mostly utilized as a corrosion-resistant alloy. Nickel is also used in rechargeable battery systems. It is also used as a component in electroplating. This element is found in a number of products including watches, electronics, mobile phones, and electric guitar strings. It is a metal that is primarily used for the production of stainless steel and nickel-based superalloys. Most of the nickel that is produced is used alloys with copper and chromium. These alloys can be shaped into tubes, rods, and sheets. Stainless steels are also widely used in coinage. Nickel is commonly used in alloys, such as munnel. It is a type of alloy that is made up of 60 to 70% nickel and copper. The combination of the two elements allows for its high resistance to corrosion and makes it perfect for propeller shafts in boats and desalination plants. Nickel is also used in magnetic shielding. This element is also used in aeronautics. Early uses of the metal include making military equipment, making coins, and plating. It is also used in the manufacture of nickel alloys, and in the production of batteries. This element is employed in many different industrial and consumer goods. Nickel is used in alloys for high strength and corrosion resistance. This characteristic makes it useful in the manufacturing of jet engines and gas turbines. In addition, nickel is used for plating, coinage, and batteries. It is also used in storage tanks for hydrogen-based energy sources. They are widely used in the chemical, telecommunications, and aerospace industries. They are also used for electroplating and other industrial purposes. Decorative nickel plating is often used to enhance the exterior of auto parts. It may contain chromium additives for increased brightness.